You want to have an application tracking system to manage this. You can probably do it on a spreadsheet a little bit, I would guess, if you're really good at spreadsheets. I'm not. I'd rather just get a platform that already has things set up for me. So Zoho is one of them. Juan Shapiro's got one that's a good one, and it's higher. I'm sorry, it's higher.
Pipe Hire, and then
Pipe Hire. Yeah.
Dominique has Hire Who, which is another
Yep.
similar but a little bit different.
Yep. They're out there, and I've used both of those. And both are really good. Dom's is phenomenal. They're really good platforms. There's others out there too. Just look into them. Some of them are pretty reasonably priced.
Let me hit on one thing, because people get confused, and I did too, between like an HR platform like Bamboo HR.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, this could be my recruiting system. And it's like, no, it doesn't do this for you. Like, yeah, there's some things you can do in there to set it up to do this, but an HR platform is different than an applicant tracking system. Now, like, it might be useful to have both, because once you have an employee, an HR platform is really useful, and Career Plug that we're on right now is great for an applicant tracking system, and it can do a lot of the HR stuff, but it might not be the best HR thing in the world. I don't know. Works well for us, but like, make sure if you're thinking about recruiting and talking about recruiting, this is the important part, that it's doing the weeding out. It's not just keeping track of your employees' birthdays. It's helping you find who your employees are going to be.
Right.
There's a difference. So I want to stress that, because I've seen people like get the two crossed before.
Yeah, that's a great point. The application tracking system is a management tool. It's exactly what it says it is. You'll notice a few things in here. Names and these numbers, okay? I want to always underscore when I do a demo for a client, I always stop, pause, and underscore this. If you one day become one of our clients, or if you're a client out there listening to this, you know that you don't need to manage this or learn this or get in here and have to get a diploma on how to understand this platform. We do all this for you if that's something, but I'm not here to sell recruiting services. But just so you know, if it's in the back of your mind, man, I think we're going to use these guys, don't worry about having to learn this. We do all of this. I'm going to show you how the sausage is made. Or take what I'm showing you and do it yourself and get a platform, and you can take all this information and do it yourself. Either way, we're here to help. You'll notice names, you'll notice numbers. This is the automation part. There's a bunch of questions that we went through here, and you'll notice that there's a couple ways they can answer. Okay. I shouldn't say everyone or each. Most of these questions has a score for each of these answers. They can only choose one of these answers. One has a very low score based on data. The other one has okay, that's acceptable. And then the other one is the best answer and gets the highest score. While we're sleeping, while I'm with my children, while somebody's applying on Christmas Day at midnight, that would be Christmas Eve, maybe both.
Depends on how you look at it.
We wake up every day and there's people in this application tracking system, and they've got a number next to them that's been automatically calculated based on the way that they answered the questions on the online application. So it's automated. They click it and we get a score, and the scores are on by each applicant. We've got data through doing this for an awful long time that shows there's a minimum score that every candidate must have. If they do not, we send them an email that says, thank you very much, have a good day, go away. It's a little bit more professional than that, but that's what we do. Okay. We do that for our own companies and our managers out there who are my customers, and we do it for our external clients as well. So that's the first thing that we I guess that's the second or third thing that we screen is we come up with these questions, we score it automatically, and that weeds out, I always get the question, what's the percentage? I don't have a specific percentage because it depends on your labor market. It depends on the job title. It depends on a couple other things. So I can't give you an exact, but it does weed out most of them.
Hey, I missed a question before from Amy, and it's a really good one. So I want to interrupt you and circle back to it if that's all right.
Absolutely.
She asked, aren't most job sites pay per click? Don't I want to weed them out before they click?
Let me flip the question to you about marketing and sales. Do you worry about having a bad prospect come in, or are you just throwing money and then you have an acquisition cost on a client? The same thing. You want to have application flow. That's the only reason you have a job title and job description. That's one answer.
Yeah. And I think in that regard, like you want to attract the right customers, but if you can buy the leads for cheap enough and know that you have a way to segment them without having to talk to them, right? Like if you bought the lead and you had to talk to everybody, that would suck because not only are you spending the money, but you're also spending the time then. So from a marketing perspective, like, yeah, you might want to segment them before you have to pay for the lead. But in this case, it's easier to segment them after because you don't have to talk to them. So you can get right to the chase. And it's about building the biggest like pot of application flow that you can. And it's
Yeah,
not,
for sure.
you're not as concerned about the cost per lead in this case. You're concerned about how many A players you get and what the cost per A player is. And so if you segment them first, you're going to end up having to spend more money in the long run, either because you're not hiring A players or because you had to go to so many different places to find them and spend more anyway. So you might as well spend the money to get the leads on a cost per click basis and then weed them out, which is maybe one of the differences in marketing, from recruiting versus marketing. Anyway, sorry I cut you off there.